Do you trust yourself? And do you trust other people? My name is Lolita Gorin, and I'm a stress management expert. You can find more about me on beamazingq.com. Why it is important to trust other people? Well, we are herd animals, right? We love the groups because we know that without being in a group, we will not survive. And I know there are probably plenty of those who say, I don't need other people. I can be all by myself. Well, if you want to eat, you need other people. That food that arrived on your table, guess what? It came from somebody else actually working for it. So if you are a hunter right now in the woods and you don't need anyone because you hunt your own food, I'm sure you're not watching this video right now. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is this. We need to trust other people in order to survive. And if you grew up in a dysfunctional family, where things were really not stable, they were constantly changing, where the rules were one day the rules and the next day were not rules, or let's say the same rules were not applying to you but they were applying to some other siblings, and or let's say your parents says we're going to do it this way from now on, but then things really changed like the next day, or the expectations one day they were what kind of expectations, the next day they were totally different. Or let's say your parents or somebody who are taking care of you while you were growing up, explain you something one way, and then they say this is how you need to do, and then when you do that, they say no, that's not the way to do it, you're supposed to do it totally different way. So you basically realize that environment that you are in, you cannot really trust because you don't know how it's going to go. So let's say you grew up with the addict in the family, or somebody not emotionally available there for you, or having some other kind of issues that you are even afraid to go home after school, let's say, and because you don't really know what the environment is going to look like, and so you are not really trusting that much of things that were happening around you, and you always like questioning like, okay, looks too good to be true, and you're waiting like for the second shoe to drop. The trusting others, it's very very important, but when you kind of were conditioned from the day one that you do not trust other people, it can be very very hard for you to establish healthy relationships in your adult life. That has to do with having a partner, or having close friendships, or even healthy relationships in your work environment and relating with other people, because you will be constantly super hyper vigilant and thinking, oh, I don't know what's going to happen now, and are they saying whatever they're saying, is that true, do they really mean that? And you will be constantly looking and will like looking for things that will go wrong, and if the people will say something or they will act some way, you will always question them because, well, you were conditioned. That's just survival, right? So the other question that I asked you was, do you trust yourself? Because guess what, if you cannot trust yourself, you probably will not be achieving your goals the way you want to. You will not be in the place that you want to be because you will constantly sabotage yourself. And what happens when you really don't trust yourself? Where that came from? Because when you've been told when you were growing up that whatever you're thinking is wrong, or whatever you are feeling is wrong, especially let's say you were constantly invalidated, your feelings were invalidated. It was like, or like, well, I'm hungry. They're like, no, you're not. Or like, oh, I'm cold. No, you're not. Or, oh, I think this and this. And they will tell you, no, that's not the way it is. Or let's say you like to do something, sing or paint or whatever. As a child, you like to do things, and they tell you, oh, the way you're doing it is so wrong. Like, oh, that's just it's so bad. Or stop singing. We hate your voice. You're not a singer at all. Like don't show this to anyone. And so you like realize, well, who I am is not really good with other people, so I'm going to pretend to be someone else. And then you start behaving like other people were expecting you to behave, because, well, you wanted to be loved and appreciated and accepted in the group, because you were thought if you will not be accepted in the group, then hence you're gonna die. Like I said before, we all belong to a group together. So more than that, because the other were telling you, kind of like gaslighting you about the way your feelings are, and your feelings were invalidated constantly, then you'll learn to not trust yourself. So if, let's say, you're in the situation and you have this intuition like, oh my gosh, something's gonna happen, or you feel like, oh, I think that that person is not going to be good for me, or something's about to happen that's will be harmful, you will tell yourself, no, 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 it's okay, it's fine. This feeling that you know, this gut feeling, don't listen to it. It's fine, don't worry about it. Because you were constantly invalidated when you were growing up. So you kind of gaslight yourself. And then you don't even trust yourself. More than that, when you continuously you forcing yourself to do things, you can notice that there's some maybe goals that you set for yourself, and you just sabotage yourself. And then because you sabotage yourself and you do not follow up on things that you're supposed to follow up, and the things that you promised yourself, you don't go and do it, you trust yourself less. And that's where the more of insecurity comes, the more of, you know, low self-esteem comes, because you're like, okay, well, yeah, you know, it's New Year's Day and today is a gym day and I'm definitely gonna work out this year, and you already gonna sabotage at the end of your day because you used to do things that were not really you, or you say, yes, I'm gonna do this, and you don't do it. And the funny thing is, you will go and you sabotage yourself because you've been expected to do that, right? And then when somebody else were telling you that your self-worth is nothing and you cannot do anything, you're going to sabotage yourself, so you will appear to those other people like they told you that how you're appearing, and then you're safe. So it's saving you, it's serving you. Sabotaging yourself is serving you to do what other people want you to do, and then you alive because they do not exclude you from the group, right? I know it's kind of messed up, but it all works, right? Because you are alive, so you're gonna continue doing that. But then the sad part is when you will do the way other people want you to do, you kind of leaving yourself behind. So you don't even trust yourself anymore, and that just adds on to more of that low self-esteem. I know this is all so bad, sounds bad. It's like, you know what, there is no hope for me, so forget all this. No, 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 wait. There are a few things that you can start doing today that will help you to trust other people, and also, you know, you can trust yourself more as well. So let's start with how you can learn to trust other people more. So when you feel like somebody will do something, or you very cautious about, like, oh, I don't know, are they really mean what they mean, or oh, I think that the shoe is just gonna drop because this looks way too good to be true. Start recording all those things. Make yourself a little list, you know, like, oh, I met so and so and they said they will do this and this, and then they did it or they did not. And when, let's say, there is a situation, you can tell yourself, you know, I have a feeling that they will do this way. And then later on, when they do it or they don't do it, you write it down to yourself where you're right. So at the same time, it's serving you two ways, because first, you will see it, are those people are really trustworthy? Do they keep their word? Can you trust them? And at the same time, you will listen to yourself and your intuition and see where you're right. And then how you also can build that trust with yourself is when you tell yourself that you're going to do something and then you follow through it. So instead of gaslighting yourself and saying, no, this is gonna be good, or no, this is bad for you, or sabotaging yourself, let's just imagine you make yourself, you make a goal and you say, I'm gonna work out 5 times a week. And then you imagine that you have your accountability partner, actually it's yourself. And you're like, I'm gonna prove myself that I can do this. And then when you do it, you'll be so proud of yourself because guess what, you did it. And if you want, you can even have accountability partner that's somebody else that you can talk. Actually, that's what the coaching comes along. And write it down, and then count every single victory, that where you really showed up for yourself. And also listen to your feelings. Like if it says, there's some action you need to take and you feel like, no, I shouldn't need this, or I shouldn't take that job, follow your intuition and see where it leads you. So you start trusting yourself more, and then you return that validation to yourself that you really, really need to do it. So if you need more help about that, I have a whole book written about this, about just growing up with a dysfunctional family, and there is a chapter that's what it says. How to listen to your own opinion, how to not listen to the people's opinion, how to have more trust in yourself and others. And if you need one-on-one coaching help, you're welcome to go on my website, beamazingyou.com, and book a session with me. So I hope to see you there.